biblical battle is set for today with the best in the Eastern Conference going toe-to-toe with a rabid dog out west. This USL Championship bout, brought to you by Musk Health, features Charleston Battery and Las Vegas Lights. Hello everyone, with Marion Crowder, I'm David Gascon. Thanks for joining us this afternoon as we see one of the few undefeated teams in the league take center stage.
Highlighted, of course, by the man who cannot be stopped. Charleston's Nick Markanek, my oh my, is he on fire. And look, he's turned into one of the most well-rounded strikers in the league. We know he can score goals. There's no doubt about that. But it's his runs into the box, his ability to shift defenses when he doesn't have the ball, opening up channels for his teammates. He's got 4 goals, 2 assists across the last 3 matches, 7 goals in his last 8. That is efficiency. That is confidence at its finest. And as Charleston goes, so does Markanek.
You see the totals right now, but given the fact that they were the Eastern Conference title winners last year, they picked up where they left off. So far this season, undefeated in their last 5. They're 4-1, and they're capturing 3 points a pop.
Yeah, and that Lou City win, it stands out, obviously means a lot. But for me, it's the Tulsa match, right? That 4-1 victory on the road. Ben Pierman had been asking his boys to take more risks, stop with the 0-0 score lines away from home. They responded to that ask from their manager with one of the best performances on the season.
And you flip the script other side to Las Vegas. Last year they had 3 wins. 3 wins all of 2023. Here in 7 matches, they also have 3 led by this man.
Yeah, Valentin Noel is the engine that puts this Las Vegas attack at its most dangerous. When Noel is busy, Las Vegas is good. He creates this buzz, this energy that translates into a much higher tempo in their press. It translates into much more creativity in the final third. He's going to go up against some of the top dogs today, so his movement off the ball is going to be vital to their success.
And oddly enough, for Las Vegas last year, their problem was scoring goals. They had 36 all of last year. They've scored in 7 straight to open out of the gate.
Yeah, and what a chance for Las Vegas here today. They're scoring goals, they're feeling confident, but this is the game that could change the narrative. Teams used to look at Las Vegas as an easy win. The story is different now, and you go into Patriots Point and you grab a point or 3, and you've made that statement.
Turn some heads. We'll see if they can accomplish that feat here today. Coming up on the side, we're going to get you the starting 11 and first touch. It's Las Vegas Lights, Charleston Battery, coming up next.
Charleston is located in the low country of South Carolina.
The history here, it runs deep, and you can't imagine being anyplace else. This place is magical.
And we are live here at Patriots Point on a beautiful Saturday afternoon with Marion Crowder. I'm David Gascon. Thanks for hanging out with us. Undefeated Charleston Battery, Las Vegas Lights right now. They sit at 3-4. Charleston Battery at 5-0-3. Got a lot of things going on here today. Marianne, the starters on one side of things, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Why don't you do the honors?
Well, we talked about Nick Marcanic in the Open, but I've got to draw your eye to MD Myers, the 2023 Golden Boot winner at MLS Next Pro. It's a devastating combination that also sees Emilio Icaza getting into the tag more and more as the 10. There's no doubt he has that freedom because of what Michael Allen and Aaron Malloy can do, how they're able to control the middle of the park. Malloy's going to sit in front as the 6, right in front of his former Memphis teammate Graham Smith, and I have been loving the left-hand side of Charleston lately between Torres, a goal scorer from last week, and Nate DeSantos.
Adam Grinwis in between the sticks today, 5-0-3, the goals against average at sub-1 at .87. On the flip side for Las Vegas.
I said Las Vegas is good when Noel is busy, but they're even better when Ngondo is a calm presence. On loan from Vancouver, he's proven to be an excellent addition to their reconstructed roster. But let me bring your attention to the right-hand side. Sean Smart, a brilliant outside back, unavailable for today's match, but it's still a pacey combo with Gannon and Asante. The outside players are going to be the focal point in these moments. Las Vegas wants to be aggressive, maybe pin Charleston deep. We'll see what they can do.
And we had a good conversation this week with Dennis Sanchez. A lot of pressure on him. So far, so good. A former Aztec. He spent some time at the collegiate level. He's bounced around a couple different places as well. But when we talked to him earlier this week, the one interesting element is he said, we're finally starting to get somewhat healthy. He feels confident about his group, but he does say that they need to win together and, of course, suffer together as that starting 11 and the reserves.
Yeah, you want to face that adversity now, though, and you want it all to accumulate in a chance like they have today.
Speaking of which, this contest is now underway. Vegas going from right to left on your screen. Charleston Battery in their dark kits will be moving from left to right. Picture perfect day here at Patriots Point. The Holy City versus Sin City. Las Vegas making the trek out east. Mark Segbers, formerly of Miami FC, back to Grinwis. An interesting element with Las Vegas, you look at where they are at compared to last season, they finished 3-21-10. They had 19 points, dead last in the Western Conference. So what do? New ownership. Jose Bautista steps in. Dennis Sanchez, the brand new head coach. And oh, by the way, they brought in 23 new players. That is quite the change.
How about that for an ownership group? Being able to say Joey Bats.
Joey Bats.
Love that.
Oh.
Absolutely love that. But I do think that word is getting out that this Las Vegas team is different. And there's a bit of surprise in the tone of voice when you talk about Las Vegas with other people.
On the approach here, Vegas trying to make something work early on against Grinwis. That play broken up at the last minute and taken away, and back comes Charleston Battery.
You know, when people talk about Las Vegas, they're a bit surprised, like, Las Vegas is good, and it's like, no, they are, and they are. What I love about it is they're not trying to have a rebuilding year. They want results, and they want them now.
Yeah, you can't afford it, right? This is as you know, it's all about performance. It's all about production, and when you get to this level, you're expected to win or at least be competitive throughout the entire year. Match just underway. Glad you could hang out with us on a Saturday afternoon. Charleston Battery trying to remain undefeated on the year. Played across the left-hand side, just a little bit too out in front, but an early attempt there for Vegas and Alba.
That is brilliant. One of my keys for this Las Vegas team is to keep your focal points in the wide areas so that you can have moments like this. Asante causes a lot of problems, and it's a pinpoint delivery, early ball behind the back line. And Ricky Alba, a player who we've seen cause problems, but he hasn't scored in league play since week 2. And for a 9, that has got to be in the back of his mind.
A little dangerous there for Rosarena. Rosarena so far this year, 3-2 record. Goals against sits at an even 1. Save percentage at .778. Battery here, that'll be a foul. Great look if you're thinking about Las Vegas making that move up the ladder in the Western Conference. When you look at Charleston Battery. Charleston Battery was brutal a couple of years ago, and they had the biggest point improvement in USL Championship League history. 34 points was the difference. They went to the USL Championship title bout. Marcanic here, onside, he shoots, he scores! Marcanic out of the gate quickly in the 4th minute. Charleston on the board, it's 1-0.
Can anybody stop this man? The answer so far today is no. And Michael Allen, boy, what a player he is. Finds Emilio Icaza with way too much time, way too much space, late to the step, and it's a beautiful slip ball and an even classier finish. That is a brilliant 3-pass attack that leads to an early goal for the home side.
Connecting the dots, Marcanic now 8 goals this season in 9 matches. You talk about blistering hot. I mean, you almost feel like you need to take this guy to Las Vegas and put your entire bankroll on craps or blackjack or roulette, because he's coming
all in
up.
on 13.
All in on 13? Oh my goodness. Well, it's 1-0 Charleston here.
People would look at you like you're insane.
Yeah, it's a little dangerous there. Back the other way. Vegas trying to level this game up. That dazzling goal by Marcanic, brought to you by Diamonds Direct. Is it the first of many on the day? We'll find out. Speaking of which, in Las Vegas, the bookmakers, some of them in Las Vegas, have the over-under total at 3. Charleston comes into this contest as a monster favorite, minus 195, and Vegas plus 400. This certainly won't help.
And there are two things. You know, Charleston knows that they're going to get everybody's best game, so they're always going to bring the energy. But the big key for them was to control the tempo. They know that this Las Vegas team has the qualities to be aggressive in the press, so it's more important about what they are able to do in moments that they had the ball. And I said that the more that they can go quick and attack that back line, the better off they will be. And early on, we're seeing just that.
It's the pressure, it's the touches, and as you had mentioned too, Marion, just quick and decisive with the ball, which led to the Marcanic goal.
And really what that does is it just takes the sting out of the press. Any kind of momentum we saw from Las Vegas early on, the defensive structure, the defensive work they were trying to do, scoring a goal that early completely takes the sting away.
Well, take me through that then, because you played at Georgia. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
You're a professional. What kind of momentum gets carried over from one match to another? Is it the confidence? Is it the flow that you have with your teammates? What exactly is it?
It's exactly that. And, you know, Ben Pierman mentioned that in our call with him, saying how surprised he's been with the fluid buildup of his team. But it's exactly that. You get into almost a flow state when you are playing and in the form the way that Charleston is right now, where everything just seems to click a bit easier. Players always seem to be in the right channels. Your touches are clean. That's as best as I can describe it, you know, that kind of workflow state where you're not thinking about the game too much. You're just existing and things are working.
And it's remarkable to have that happen, whether it's early in a season or late, just because of the lack of consistency that you get because you're playing in a sport that, let's face it, you're going to get a lot of injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Guys will cramp up, guys will get banged up, guys will be missing action, transferring out, loaned in, whatever it may be. And you have the ebbs and flows of a long campaign.
Yeah, and you throw in things like international duty, you throw in the Open Cup.
That's right.
Right, and there are so many different ways that you can slice and dice not to be good. And so I've been so impressed with how Ben Pierman has been managing his group, because I think he understands that they are in that flow state. I'm not going to try to touch too much. Just let them be. Let them keep feeling good in training. Let them keep focusing on recovery, because they're taking care of themselves on the pitch.
And one of the elements that Dennis Sanchez had mentioned is that the pressure that he has with this young team in Las Vegas, young in the sense that they are just getting to work together, is that they got to learn how to be on the same page, whether it's while training or whether it's in game mode here. And a lot of that, you just have to take your bumps along the way. Cross through the other way, and Alba, that one just a little bit out in front of him there. Good look from Samake, though, playing that across.
Yeah, and I really like their idea in the attack early on. I'm glad that they're not trying to break Charleston down centrally and finding their playmakers in the wide areas. We haven't called Noel's name too much. It's obviously early on, but the more that they can get the ball in the wide area and set Ricky Alba up for service, I think that's going to be their best chance at equalizing.
Temperatures at first touch today, 73 degrees.
That is perfect.
Pretty good. Is that wine weather for you? Is
Oh,
that,
absolutely.
Or is that whiskey weather for you?
Oh, no, no, no. I need it to be much colder for whiskey weather.
Listen, getting this part of the country, it's all about the whiskey, the beer, maybe a little bit of wine, I guess, maybe in the middle of the day.
Oh, yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, yeah.
Peek at there at Samake. Noel this season leading the team with 3 goals in the campaign. Las Vegas, as a squad, they've lost a couple games back-to-back. They got beat by Rhode Island last week 2-1, had a goal wiped off the board. Noel did score in that one, the 54th minute. They owned possession against Rhode Island, 60% to 40. That was the good. The bad, the expected goals category, they were outclassed there, 1.46 to just 0.67. First corner of the contest, though, going to Las Vegas. Let's see what kind of pressure Las Vegas can put on as Arozarena came well out of his net, a vacated net. We'll see if a shot goes the opposite way. It does not. Malloy was looking around, see if there was an angle for someone to pull the trigger. No dice. Strenuous moment.
Definitely caught me off guard a little bit to see the goalkeeper out past midfield.
We've seen a wild thing or two happen in USL Championship this year. Take a peek now at the Musk Health injury report. Arozarena getting this thing into harm's way. Charleston, nobody out. Fortunate for them. It's part of the reason why they're undefeated on the season, sitting at 5-0-3. And in Vegas, on the other side of things for Dennis Sanchez, he feels like they're close to being 100%. Guys on the pitch playing and also training with them. Learning curve indeed. Into the 11th minute, this will be a throw-in for Las Vegas. Battery matches are the perfect place to make lifelong memories with your friends and family. Your group of 10 or more can enjoy discounted tickets, exclusive on-field experiences, and private hospitality areas to catch the match. Visit charlestonbattery.com to learn more and plan a memorable night at Patriots Point. Good activity early on this contest. We're in the 12th minute. Nick Markanek, team leading 8th goal of the season. He's got a couple helpers on the year as well. Getting the scoring started. Bad part for Las Vegas. They've conceded now 9 goals first half in 8 contests so far this year. Played a little bit too tough. This matchup a year ago would be almost a guaranteed 3 points for Charleston Battery, but this year, not so much. They're gonna have to work much harder. Now they got the 1 goal in the 4th minute from Markanek. So a good start for them. We'll see if Las Vegas can equalize. Adams here with the left foot. Plays through, but immediately played out of harm's way. Charleston working on a counter here. Got for Markanek, but he's going to be on the left-hand side. Pushing forward. That one softly played across by Allen. Allen still looking for his first goal of the year. Allen. Not enough steam on that pass, looking for Alba. Marion, Alba has been a focal point, as you'd mentioned early on, with these attempts, whether a home run pass or a cross through. Adams nicely jumping up into the play.
And this has been some good decisions from Las Vegas defensively. They're picking the right moments to press and the right moments to be okay without the ball. And And right now, that series of 3 or 4 players pressing consecutively have won them this ball back.
There's that fine line between being okay without the ball and needing it. Where do you feel like that comes in a match? Is it early, or is it when you have the advantage, or is it both?
I think that you, right now, especially, you know, given the weather conditions, probably not something that Las Vegas is quite used to playing in. And given the fact that they do have some new faces into the starting 11, I think being okay without the ball, they don't need the ball right now. They have shown that they can really break down this Charleston team and get some quality services into the box by way of going through Gannon or going through Newell, pinging it out wide, and then an early service in behind. They're missing the quality of Ricky Alba's run into the box, the timing there. But right now, I would not hit the panic mode for Las Vegas.
15th minute. Marcanic in minute number 4, getting the offense going. Ikaza with the assist. You mentioned just the comfortable weather here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. It's 73 degrees. You're thinking about back home for Las Vegas Lights. You're flirting with 100, 103, 104. The dry heat.
Different, man. Oh. Different. Humidity, dry heat. What would you pick? Whether you walk outside,
it's not
and
fair.
It's literally a desert, or you walk outside and you're like, wow, I have to take another shower.
It's tough. I'll admit, being from Southern California, you're a little spoiled and you grew up with it. I would probably say the dry heat. The humidity kills me. The humidity's tough. It's brutal. It's tough.
So definitely an element that these players are having to deal with that you just can't replicate that, obviously, in training.
Give me some air conditioning. Yeah. That's about it, you know. It's about it. You know, it's one of those things as we age, because you figure like you get a lot of people, especially when it comes to training.
Right.
That's the one thing I asked Dennis about was when we were talking to him this week was just the difference between the elements. And yeah, when you're training in Las Vegas, you have to think about the hydration. You have to think about the nutrition, and then the rest and recovery. Those layers to being a professional athlete are more than just how you perform on the pitch.
Yeah, and you know, again, you throw in all of the different things that coaches are having to think about right now, whether it be Open Cup or players coming back from injury, you're almost always plus or minus 1 match day, right? So you're either coming off a match, going into a match. Right now, at this point in the season, it's really hard to find quality days to actually train with your squad when so much is focused on rest and recovery. You throw in 100 degrees, and I mean, you've got a whole other animal there.
Different walk of life, especially with those temperatures in Las Vegas. It's curious too, because being that you were a professional, but also as a collegiate athlete at Georgia, there's certain weeks you'd play 2 times a week.
Oh yeah.
And there's certain times you'd only play once a week.
Yeah.
What was your preference?
Well, you know, weirdly enough, I was a part of the college game when we used to play Friday, Sunday.
Okay.
And then when the networks came and got involved, they wanted Thursday, Sunday. So you had that extra day of rest. And I tell you what, I may be crazy, but having the extra day made it worse.
Really?
Absolutely. I always felt like I was more sore the Saturday heading into the Sunday versus when your body really doesn't have too much time to think about it. Just having one day, you just roll right into the next game. That's
interesting, especially as a collegiate athlete.
Yeah.
Because the recovery time as you're younger is a lot different than as a pro, because you're logging the hours, the time, and of course you're aging a little bit too.
The other thing that was interesting about, and they have a little bit of this, is you get more, when your games are closer together, obviously you get less recovery, but you do get more time on the training ground, right? And you get less time in kind of the travel. You don't have to worry about going somewhere midweek. You know that you have kind of that extra day to be in your own routine, train with your boys, watch an extra set of film. And so I think right now these managers have so much to think about in terms of balancing training, balancing recovery.
And then you also have to keep in mind the development of some of your younger players through the academies, some that you're bringing in that are just becoming professionals. A lot that goes into it. Shots right now are even at 1 apiece. The one marker, though, from Marcanic. Nothing on target just yet for Las Vegas. Las Vegas is going to have a date with LAFC in the round of 32 in the U.S. Open Cup. You're a big fan of the Open Cup.
Love the Open Cup.
I do too.
Love the Open Cup.
I like cup sets. I like the drama. Previous round, we saw a plethora of reds.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a fan of red cards. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so you like to watch fights.
Yeah,
Got
I
it.
do.
All right.
Yeah. It's what it's all about. Love the drama, penalties, the whole smash. Rosarena is that can be ruled offside. Fabian Garcia pulling a tire. MD Myers. Myers had a brace last week in that throttling you mentioned with FC Tulsa.
Yeah, MD Myers has been a handful, and I think the question for him is how do you replicate what you did at MLS Next Pro on a completely new level? And this is the best that the USL Championship, from a skills perspective and a talent perspective, has looked in a long time. This is quality right here on the pitch, day in, day out, and he has fit in seamlessly.
Myers has 5 goals. He's second best for Charleston Battery. The odd thing is, though, is when you look at his brace and what him and Marcanic have done so far throughout the year, nobody else has 2 goals for Charleston Battery. So they're a little top heavy, which is not a bad thing. And I think if you're going to ask anybody, Marion, if you're having Marcanic scoring 18 or 24 goals in a season and Myers is right behind him with another 12 to 15, you're going to take that all day.
Yeah, and I think what you don't see on the score sheet is all the work that the midfield for Charleston does to set Marcanic and MD Myers up. The interesting thing about those 2 players is they could get lost almost in a match because they're not touching the ball all the time, and then you've lost them, they've made the run, they've scored in a matter of 2 touches, right? They don't need to have a lot of touches to be impactful, and that just goes to show how talented the midfield players are for this Charleston Battery side. Aaron Malloy, Emilio Icaza, Allen, they can cover a lot of ground and do a lot of the grunt work off the ball that sets up those players.
Samake here out wide. A little ambitious with that feed. Played away by Malloy. Jostling for positioning here. Ngado. Malloy with the touch. Mark Segbers. Segbers making his 9th start in all 9 matches this year. He was a staple for Miami FC last year, despite the fact that they did not have much of an anchor defensively. Segbers was one of them. And Marion, you brought up something interesting about the unheralded players for Charleston Battery. Do you think that gets lost when opponents watch these guys on tape?
No, I think that, especially the coaches, I think when the coaches watch this Charleston team on tape, yeah, they're worried about Marcanic. They're worried about MD Myers because of their...
Marcanic. Oh, Rosarena leaves a vacant net. He's going to get badly burned. Credit all of that to Marcanic, but nevertheless, another goal. It's now 2-0, and MD Myers is on the board. He's now scored 3 goals in the last 2 contests.
And Charleston, we've seen that they can create in the run of play, but what they can also do is work hard off the ball to create moments of absolute brilliance. That's Marcanic just saying, I'm going in for this one. I want it more than you. Rosarena finds himself in a terrible position. And by the time he's backpedaling, he realizes Marcanic's going to get to that. Doesn't have enough time to cover ground. And the deadly combination of MD Myers and Nick Marcanic continue.
Yeah, brilliant play by the Battery. Goal scored in the 22nd minute, presented by Diamonds Direct. Myers, just mentioned him, along with Marcanic. And so the damage has been done with Myers, his 6th goal this season. And if you're Las Vegas, Marion, you got to be careful because this thing can get away from you in a hurry.
The next 5 to 10 minutes for this Las Vegas side are crucially important. Obviously, we know what Charleston wants to do. They want to put this one away early. They want to get their players some rest, and they want to go in to the half with another goal in hand. Las Vegas, though, they're going to need to really up the tempo. Things just seem a bit lax for them right now. There's no sense of urgency right in the buildup, and now that you're down another goal, that has to change.
Segbers and Noel collide. Noel with a nice forearm shiver. See if that results in a booking. It's not going to be the case right now. Rosarena with the yellow card. Was with that contact from Marcanic. That was a dangerous play for both Rosarena and Marcanic. Rosarena getting burned. Marcanic with the assist. He had to wear it, but for good reason. And Myers making it count, 2-0. Joe Sergin, the lead official today. This one played into the box. It was a dangerous proposition, headed away at the last moment. Nice look, though, from Torres.
And Aaron Malloy making the smart decision just to go short. A wide open Torres, who has been so good with services from wide areas. He's been a nice addition to this Charleston Battery side. Again, another player that has such good quality. Any team would be happy to have him, but does a lot of the unseen work for the goal scorers.
25th minute, 2-0 Charleston. Battery have scored 13 first half goals this season. 13. Talk about really putting it to the opposition and try to squeeze the game and the air out of it. Get on top and stay on top, as they'd say. Pushed into the attacking third again. Myers flirting. Myers just needed to make one more move. He would have been off to the races, but a nice play by Garcia.
This first half is a little reminiscent to me of Las Vegas's first half against Rhode Island. They did end up really being the better team in the second half, but it was too little too late. They just spent a lot of time aimlessly chasing. I mentioned there was no sense of urgency or composure on the ball. And I think right now we're starting to see a little bit of that frustration build when a couple players are going to press, the rest of the team is not there with them. Defensively, they need to get on the same page.
Now, is that incumbent upon the head coach, Janice Sanchez, to right the ship and say, hey, fellas, verbally, let's get after it? Or do you feel like it's someone on the pitch that needs to make sure that teammates are all aligned and waking up a bit?
I heard Sanchez trying to encourage the boys, come on, bring energy. I think right now he needs a player on the pitch to take control, a veteran, whether that be Noel, whether that be Ngando, a player who's going to right the ship, as you would say. You can just see the frustration, right? Not making good decisions in the build-up. That was one of my keys coming into this match for Las Vegas, is A, picking your moments to go like this. Charlie Gannon goes, okay, that means everybody behind him has got to step. So this would be a great ball for them to win back.
Samake here. Noel. Been a bit too quiet for Las Vegas.
And that's the second key, right? It sounds so simple, but bring the energy. I think they found themselves in a tough position.
Top of the box, that header. Nicely played through again by Samake, and the header by Alba skirting over the crossbar.
That was a missile, huh? Take a look at that off the boot. And Ricky Alba has to come back a little bit. That's a really tough ball to head and head down. But you can tell this is their game plan, right? Attack the wide areas, get service into their number 9. He is a player that has the physical structure to go toe-to-toe with Graham Smith, Leland Archer. Not many 9s in this league can say that. But all I'm asking for from Las Vegas is a bit more energy. You don't want the repeat of the Rhode Island match where it was too little, too late. You fought to get the equalizer, but you didn't give yourself enough time.
Minute. More physicality here.
I need your opinion. Do we think that that is a mullet on Coleman Gannon? Does it classify? Are you picky with what you classify as a mullet?
No, but
I think it is. I'm going to give it to him.
it's more amplified with a stash, for sure. I feel like
true.
if you have the stash, then you're really rocking it.
That is true.
You got to have that purpose, right?
Right.
It could be a hat day, and so it could turn into a mullet. But if you got the stash,
You're thinking it needs to get a little bit longer in the back.
maybe
That's
he's
what
gonna
I'm
have
hearing.
he's
Okay.
gonna have more action
Okay.
in the back. Is that what it is?
Yeah. I'm with you. I think it's close. I think you give it like another couple weeks.
Could your husband get away with a mullet?
No.
Not in your house.
No, because he's bald.
Oh.
A mustache, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I am with you. I do feel like the purpose of a mustache is indeed to make your mullet look better.
Yeah, it pops, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's
We digress.
back to the action here from Patriots Point. The usual suspects, Marcanic, Myers, have scored. And Las Vegas is looking up and trying to get off the deck. Speaking of which, the Battery are back at Patriots Point. We'll take a look at their next contest on May the 4th against Hartford. Tickets are available now via SeatGeek, the Battery's exclusive ticketing provider. Get your tickets now and save up to $10 per seat when you buy in advance. And at tickets.charlestonbattery.com today. Marcanic, Garcia, Rosarena. That was a dangerous proposition. Marcanic, a wide open net, is bullseye. Reiko Rosarena has been caught napping numerous times here in the opening half, and he is suffering down on the deck. Marcanic, blistering pace as we look back at it again.
And how about this ball from Leland Archer, the center back? An absolute pinpoint. Marcanic actually doesn't do well with it. But again, you said it, a Rosarena, his positioning not good enough. Isn't firm when he comes out. Doesn't make himself big enough, and it's much too easy for that ball to be won off of him. And Marcanic's never gonna miss that.
Battery goal with a sparkling finish is brought to you by Diamonds Direct. Marcanic with a brace in the opening half. And Marion, he's flirting with a hat trick now.
We still have so much left to play.
Yes, so much to discuss.
If I'm Ben Pierman, I am letting him stay in this match, try to get the hat trick, and immediately pulling him off.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's no need for him to be in this match, really.
When you get into matches like this, it turns into a stat stuffing affair. Rosarena beside himself. I mean, you look at what Charleston has done this year. It's been Marcanic or Myers. Myers or Marcanic, or sometimes both.
Right.
Myers collided with Rosarena. Miscommunication between him and Garcia. And as you mentioned early on, when you're flowing as a team, everything goes your way. That ball went right to Marcanic and he made it count.
And he didn't do well enough with it, right? Like the ball from Leland Archer was great, but it was a tough ball to deal with. Marcanic actually heads that to a place that should have been collected by the Las Vegas side. I think it's twofold there, right? When you know that you have MD Myers and Nick Marcanic coming at your back line and you get caught that flat, that's a problem, because let's assume that Nick Marcanic does do better with that first touch. Well, he's off to the races 1v1 with the goalkeeper. And then you have the second part of it, which was your goalkeeper's positioning, where, again, we're in a situation of who wants it more, and MD Myers comes out on top with that one. But that is a mutually beneficial relationship between number 13 and number 9.
I guess it's foreshadowing, but we saw Rosarena cross midfield at one point during this match. And he's extended himself and overextended himself, and he's been badly beat. We mentioned how Las Vegas has given themselves a chance week in and week out because of their offensive productivity. But when you have a keeper being a little reckless and cavalier, that really just crushes the morale of your team.
Yeah, it takes the wind out of the sails because, you know, yes, soccer is a team sport, and there were two. Las Vegas should not have been that flat in the back, but you're relying on your goalkeeper to make that save, right? You're not thinking as a center back that there's any way that this is going to be a goal, and it turns out to be. And now here you are sitting 3 down, and it's not even the first 45 yet.
Yeah. Brutal. 34th minute, Samake. Back post, floated around, but Charleston effective and efficient defensively.
And as unfair as it may seem, now the Las Vegas attack needs to respond, right? That tempo's got to be there. You asked, what is the balance of not needing the ball versus needing it? We are in critical moments, right? If you're Las Vegas, and you need to go into the half trying to get at least one back.
Noel. The other interesting part is now, where does that throttle go for Charleston? Do they keep their foot on the gas, or they lay up a little bit? Charleston so good last year. 59 points, 3rd in the Eastern Conference. They lost in penalties to Phoenix in the USL Championship title mount. 34-point improvement, and this year they're only one of a handful of teams that remain undefeated. Quite remarkable. They scored 3 goals here today so far. They blasted Tulsa, FC Tulsa 4-1. Outshot them in that affair 21-11. And we were talking off air about this, Marion, but you can do a lot of damage. You lead the league in goals coming in today with 18. You lead the league in shots. So you have puncher's chance. Well, I'd say they have more than that when you have guys that are actually making the most of their opportunities.
Yeah, I think that's the craziest thing is the multitude of ways that they can attack you. They can attack you in the run of play and from deep positions with playmakers like Aaron Malloy. They can get at you in the wide areas with, a player we haven't seen a lot on the ball in the attack today has been Nate DeSantos, the left back. We often see him at the top of the 18-yard box. And then there are moments like these where they've got the runners. They're going to put a service in.
Kaza taken down inside the box, and the elite officials pointing towards the spot. This might be an instance where Las Vegas just wants to get to the airport right now and leave town.
And it's Torres on the ball and a cheeky little run from Emilio Icaza. And Gandu gonna be the offender in this situation. And you are praying right now that a Rosarina tries to make up for some of his mistakes from earlier by saving this penalty and keeping the scoreline at just 3-0.
Gandu the guilty party. Icaza the one taken down. And the man we just mentioned, flirting with a hat trick, has an opportunity now. And this place here at Patriots Point will go berserk if he can pocket it. Markanek on the penalty against the Rosarina. Left-footed strike, he scores! There's your hat trick in the 37th minute. It is a straight boat race for Charleston Battery. They lead 4-0.
And again, a perfect example of Nick Markanek burying, class finish. We know that he can score goals, but you gotta give credit to the buildup that allowed for that penalty to happen. That's your number 10, your attacking midfield player, Emilio Icaza, taking risk in the final third, catching Ngondo in a bad position, earning that penalty for his team. Nick Markanek obviously is going to be the beneficiary on the score sheet, but that was a much bigger goal than just number 13.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Markanek is going to be the player of the week in USL Championship.
I think so too.
Take that to the bank.
I think so too.
We might have a guy score 3 or 4 goals tonight, but I think that's pretty solid.
I think that is a safe bet.
Unbelievable.
And now I would be surprised if we see him in the second half.
Another dazzling goal brought to you by Diamonds Direct. Markanek with the hat trick. Well, we came in thinking that Las Vegas would be a sizable underdog, and that's exactly the case. Samake here, soft on his feet. Noel with the intercept, picking the pocket of Segbers, but he can't hold possession. Touch foul there for Marcanic. Now, if you are in the position for Charleston Battery, Marcanic, MD Myers, they're sitting at the end of this first half for good?
I don't know as much about MD Myers, but Marcanic, after his second goal, did spend a little bit longer on the ground. He actually had to have teammates come and help him up. Obviously, he's fine now to continue playing, but you have to think about a few things, right? Obviously, the most important one is rest, recovery, and the legs.
Yep.
You don't really need him at this point. Is it more beneficial to give him the extra set of rest? And then number two is going to be the potential of yellow cards, right? We've seen Marcanic be called on a handful of fouls.
This one played into the box, that header! Oh, just a little bit off the mark from Alba. He's been the one bright spot today for Las Vegas. Awfully close there.
Again, a player that really has the stature, the physical nature to go toe-to-toe with some of the best center backs in the league. Just out-jumps Leland Archer, gets a better read on it. And I love the idea, trying to flick that into the back post. Just misses. And maybe in that situation, knowing the goalkeeper is already...
Gondo, nice move with the right foot, but it goes right into the crest of Grinwis.
In that situation of Ricky Alba, knowing the goalkeeper, the ball's in flight, right? The goalkeeper's going to travel with it. Instead of trying to go back post, could you maybe just try to head the ball back where it came from, down to the near post? Give yourself a lot more goal to work with as well.
Alba, the one bright spot so far. Pretty good velocity on each of his headers. While we have a moment, the USL on CBS Sports Networks continues in May. Undefeated Detroit City FC takes on the defending championship title holders in Phoenix Rising. Saturday, May 11th at 6:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. Detroit with the big upset last year of Pittsburgh in the opening round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Phoenix Rising got hot late, real hot, and then all of a sudden found themselves on top of the mountain when the season was over and done with. Las Vegas right now in a world of hurt, and we're not even done with the opening 45 yet. Marcanic with the hat trick. MD Myers got himself into the scoring act. Made it 2-0. Archer with the intercept, picked off, and back comes Charleston Battery. Got to imagine now, Marion, when you get into a match like this where it gets away from one team, that each club could be susceptible to breaking away from their typical structure. Marcanic softly played through, looking for Myers, just a little bit too out in front of him.
Yeah, to your point, I think Las Vegas needs a change though, right? Like their last couple matches, it's kind of been the same story, and they haven't been hurt until the Rhode Island match, where it was this idea of you got going much too late, right? You came out flat-footed. Now you're stuck in a deficit early. And no offense to Rhode Island, but the Charleston Battery is at the top of the table for a reason.
Yeah.
And playing against a team like Charleston requires 90 minutes of energy and intelligence. They don't give you room to start flat, to grow into the game. And I think that Las Vegas is learning that hard lesson here today.
Oh, wake-up call here. MD Myers looking for the brace. That one goes off of woodwork. Arozarena got a piece of it. Give him credit. But Myers, shocked he didn't finish there.
Again, just sloppy. It's sloppy in the build-up. Trying to pass out of the back. And if I'm MD Myers, I'm going near post. Low, driven to the near post. It would have been a picture-perfect finish if it went in, but that hip height for a goalkeeper is always going to be the easiest save for them to make.
I was a little surprised they didn't lob it over him. Seen that in instances from Myers. Got a corner here. Oddly enough, this is the first corner of the contest for Charleston Battery, and it's occurring here in the 44th minute. Malloy. Fans have showed up, showed out. They've been treated to 4 goals. Malloy, plenty of contact near the 6. Las Vegas trying to throw some kind of counterattack. Gondo. One move. Alba on the left-hand side, didn't receive it. Played through in the right wing. That shot to go on Grinwis, just taps it down in front. We'll check and see how much stoppage time, if any, we'll have in this opening half. I got to imagine for Las Vegas, they don't want any. Shots right now, 5-4 in favor of Charleston. 5 of them on target for Charleston. The one that Rosarena stopped against Myers just grazed off the woodwork. But they have scored in every which way. Marcanic on a penalty. Couple moments of frustration for Rosarena vacating his net. And on the flip side of things, Adam Grinwis staked to a 4-goal lead. Second right now with 3 clean sheets on the campaign. Love to grab number 4 here today. It looks like we have 5 minutes of stoppage time. Extra time brought to you by Musk Health Sports Medicine. Throughout your professional and collegiate career, have you been a part of something like this one way or another?
To be honest, I have never had a team that has experienced flow state like this for this extended amount of time, to where I think Ben Pierman could walk off the field and these players would be just fine.
Autopilot.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what you want as a head coach. I mean, this is almost too good as a head coach to see, and you have to wonder if Ben Pierman's not wondering when the other shoe's going to drop. You mentioned that they've been great with injuries, right? Haven't had any. They have been excellent in all of their principles, and they have gradually, the thing about this Charleston side is every single game there's gradual improvements, right? We talked about their last 5 results, and that Louisville City game was a great win. Don't get me wrong, it meant a lot, but we saw them go on the road to Tulsa, where they had struggled to score on the road, and they put up 4 because that's what the manager's asking.
Breaking that back line's Alba, but he's going to be ruled offside.
The only thing that could have made that match better would have been a clean sheet.
Sure.
And they are well on track to have that today. Now, Ricky Alba, though, has found some weak spots in the back line. And in the second half, in order to actually get on the score sheet, I think that they need to continue trying to send in that early ball behind. He's finding that the backside shoulder of Graham Smith and Leland Archer very well. The delivery just hasn't quite been there for him.
Kaz on the left side. Myers the top of the box. That right foot punched out, though, by Rosarena. Nicely done by Reiko. Marcanic working back post, so Rosarena skies up, puts it in a bad area. The header just goes off the mark. Well, they continue to push the pace, even with some added time.
Torres over here on the left-hand side. Much of the game's been played on the right, but a player who got signed after preseason trials with the team, making himself a mainstay in this starting 11, trying to get his name on the scoreline here today.
Ripe old age of 22. Amazing.
I'd say, what were you doing at 22? But as a Georgia Bulldog, you were probably giving the opposition fits in Athens, right?
Yeah.
No, what? How old were you when you tore your ACL?
I tore my ACL my freshman spring.
Okay. So roughly 18,
so what
19?
is that? Yeah, so that would have been 2018. No, wait, no, hold on.
That was maybe a couple years ago.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've lost my mind. It's 2014, spring of 2014, I tore my ACL.
Okay.
So yeah, 19 years old.
The recovery for you, was it easy? Was it hard?
It was, I mean, mentally it's tough, but like,
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna, I was a maniac. Like I did rehab, and that's the great thing. If you have to tear your ACL, you don't want to do it in high school, right? Like you want to do it in a place like Georgia or at the professional level when you have the commitment of teams working alongside
World class, yeah.
And when you have that, all you need is commitment. They
Yeah.
have the knowledge, they have the tools to get you back. You just have to have the mentality to want to. So for me, as soon as that switch flipped, it was easy. This is the thing in front of me. This is what has to be done to get back on the field. No questions asked.
What was the hardest physical component of the rehab?
I would probably have to say getting your strength back even. I mean, it's actually quite amazing.
The atrophy?
Yeah, how quickly it happens.
Yeah.
You come out of surgery, you haven't seen your leg in a week or so, and they take the first part of the surgery off, and all of a sudden you're like, where did my quad go? I have no idea.
Adams there with a yellow card.
As we're seeing a bit of the frustration in this Las Vegas side.
Hasn't been a violent first half, unless, of course, you look at the scoreboard in the top
I was about
left.
to say, it depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah. Someone was living dangerous today, and Marco Rosarena has played that part and been beat up.
And, we've seen him be a bit questionable in matches leading up to this, but again, hasn't hurt him quite so bad as it has today.
Well, the end of the first half is now here. Mercifully, Las Vegas will go to the locker room, licking their wounds, but that man, Nick Markanek, he had the hat trick in the opening half, and he has been as good as advertised.
Absolutely, and really just the combination of him and M.D. Myers. One player does the defensive work, the other player gets the goal. One player makes the run, the other player gets the service. It has been incredible to watch, and I think we're just seeing how good this Charleston Battery side is right now.
Shots in the first half, 7-5 for Charleston Battery. On goal, 6-3. Markanek with the hat trick. M.D. Myers also with the goal. The expected goals in the first half, only 1.9 for Charleston Battery. It does not matter. 45 minutes in the books here from Patriots Point, and they lead Las Vegas 4-0. Score!
Innovation means training tomorrow's leaders in the latest technologies, because we know the next idea to change the future of medicine may well come from them. At the Medical University of South Carolina, innovation is who we are.
Hola.
¿Alguna otra cerveza?
No, Michelob Ultra.
Ok, ahora vuelvo.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. Like in 2005, when lottery proceeds helped purchase new school buses that kept South Carolina students on the road to success. Because arriving safely to school every day is the first important step on their journeys to the careers and lives they've always dreamed of. When you play the lottery, you're helping fund the futures of students all over our state, which is why education is our middle name.
Innovation means developing novel therapies for patients today and taking the first steps toward life-changing discoveries decades in the future. At the Medical University of South Carolina, innovation is who we are.
first half. 4-0 Charleston Battery. Marion Crowder, I'm David Gascon. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Saturday afternoon into the nighttime. And Marion, this thing has been a one-sided tilt throughout, but for Charleston Battery, the defending Eastern Conference champs, they've been as good as anyone thought they would be so far.
They have indeed, and they have scored goals aplenty, but this is not the only matchup that could see a lot of goals. We've got the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Detroit City on an absolute tear, and then Louisville City, Hartford Athletic. That's going to be one to watch. Miami, San Antonio.
We've got a lot to chew on here today. Lou City, Hartford Athletic, Miami, and San Antonio. Miami was the only team last year to beat San Antonio on home soil. Kind of odd.
That's a good call out, and we'll have to see. The Indy 11, they actually probably disappointed in their draw versus Colorado Springs. Can they get back on the right foot against North Carolina FC?
Yeah. Out-of-town scoreboard presented by Charleston International Airport with over 5 million passengers annually. Your low country adventure begins at CHS. Also later on tonight on the menu, Orange County and Monterey Bay. Orange County has been awesome so far in Sacramento Republic. It doesn't feel like they will ever have a bad season anytime soon, right?
Right. The mainstay, always contenders for the top of their division, but that Oakland-Colorado Springs matchup, look, that's two desperate teams, Colorado especially, that needs results tonight. Oakland in a bit of turmoil right now with the amount of red cards and injuries they have. I think that one will be quite exciting.
I would have never have guessed Colorado Springs would be this bad,
Right.
but yeah, 0-5-1 out of the gates, and it's going to get late quick for them if they don't pick up 3 points, including here tonight against the Oakland Roots. But here today, Charleston Battery 4-0. On the flip side of things, Las Vegas, they need to make some adjustments. We'll talk about all that and then some. On the next side of things, we'll get you the stats, highlights, and a whole lot more as you're watching Charleston Battery. Las Vegas Lights 4-0 at the end of the opening half.
Hi, I'm Rob Salvatore, and I'm the chairman of the Charleston Battery.
Hey, I'm Jamie Lentz. I'm the chef partner of Fifth Street Group and Tempest Restaurant.
We came up with this program, Goals for Gardens.
I had the idea to donate $100 for every goal scored by the Battery this season.
That led us to the Green Heart organization.
My name is Jesse Blum. I'm the executive director of the Green Heart Project. We build school and community gardens for purpose of education and purpose of building a sense of community around healthy food and healthy activity.
To prepare it. Wait, can I just, okay? We're supporting a farmer who's local to us, who lives in our community.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
Take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2,
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
what a moment.
From distance, oh, what an effort, and it's special.
Machado fires!
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power, trusted for over 100 years. Our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Back here at Patriots Point with Marion Crowder, I'm David Gascon. Thanks for hanging out with us. 4-0. It is all Charleston Battery in this thing. Las Vegas looking for somewhere to hide. Kids are out and about with the parents as well, enjoying a Saturday afternoon into the nighttime. Marion, we got some news, we got some notes, all kinds of stuff. USL Championship. I'm going to pass it along to you because I need to grab a shot.
The USL Jägermeister Cup, that is such an exciting kickoff. Kicks off this weekend, actually. A new cup that USL League One is introducing, a little bit of a World Cup style. And I heard, actually, that they are going to have Jaeger shots for the winner. That's what I heard was the prize.
All about it. Vacation Land, Maine's first pro soccer team will kick off in USL League One in 2025. Edward Ikaza on a goal and assist as the Pittsburgh Riverhounds picked up their first win of the season on the road, so he is the player of the week. Got to imagine Nick Marcanic will be that a week from now, but nevertheless, those are our news and notes around USL Championship. Now take a peek at the Eastern Conference and then Western Conference standings. Top to bottom, Charleston, that is going to change a little bit because they're going to go to 6-0-3 and have 21 points when this day is over with.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you look at the battle seems to be exactly where it was last year. It's hard to think that it's not going to be Lou City and Charleston, but Detroit City has been a team that is just soaring with confidence right now. They're getting better every single matchup. I'm really interested to see how all of this pans out, but obviously you can tell just how close it is at the top.
I think my shocker is Pittsburgh right now, out of the playoff spot with only one win on the year.
Good shout.
Other side of things, Sacramento, as we mentioned just a couple minutes ago, the top dog with 15 points, Monterey Bay, New Mexico, San Antonio. It's the regular guys that are there. I think the one curious portion is you look at Colorado Springs, the bottom of the basement. Both them and El Paso have yet to get off the mat.
Yeah, I can't understate that enough, just how desperate this Colorado Springs team is for points. They've obviously got a new head coach in James Chambers. This is not the season that he would have liked to get started on, but it's time to puff out the chest and see if they can't get some results against the Western Conference rival in Oakland tonight.
No reason to panic if you're one of those teams on the outside looking in. It's still April. We're getting our way towards the months of June and July. The dog days of summer, but nevertheless, for Charleston, the beat goes on. They're ripping things up today, 4-0.
When we took this job, we knew that the future was the EX90.
A lot of people are excited about it.
We're really happy to see the EX90 on the line.
I'm Tamara Thompson.
And Rachel Gillum.
My name is Eric Brown.
And the Volvo EX90 was made by us.
L is for the way you look. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can love. Is all that I can give to you.
This is your vacation, your beach, your fields of green, skies of blue, mountains of majesty. You're an athlete, you're obsessed, you're in love, you're in pain, spirit drained, in agony, fighting gravity, because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your frame in blazing heat, exhausted and beat, because when you refuse to yield, your spirit is revealed. You are an athlete. MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. Like in 2005, when lottery proceeds helped purchase new school buses that kept South Carolina students on the road to success. Because arriving safely to school every day is the first important step on their journeys to the careers and lives they've always dreamed of. When you play the lottery, you're helping fund the futures of students all over our state, which is why education is our middle name.
When we took this job, we knew that the future was the EX90.
A lot of people are excited about it.
We're really happy to see the EX90 on the line.
I'm Tamara Thompson.
And Rachel Gillum.
My name is Eric Brown.
And the Volvo EX90 was made by us.
Back here at the break, Patriots Point. Youngins enjoying today's festivities. Nick Marcanic with a hat trick. Charleston Battery carving up Las Vegas Lights. 4-0 is the score. I'm Aaron Crowder. I'm David Gascon. Thanks for joining us today. Charleston Battery trying to go to 6-0-3 on the season. We have some highlights for you. Marion, show us and take us away.
There's really not much to say other than Charleston is good and that the goalkeeper for Las Vegas has put them in a really precarious position. But it all starts with the run of play. Emilio Icaza, a lovely chipped ball in. And it's Nick Marcanic who times his run perfectly, decides to go out, make that run out instead of vertical. That's what keeps him onside, and it's a world-class finish from a world-class striker at the moment. That was in the 4th minute. It didn't take too long to get the second one, and this was the first mistake. It's poor in the back from Las Vegas. It forces Arozarena into a really awkward spot from a positioning standpoint. Does he come out? He does, but he doesn't make himself big enough. You don't go in with your legs there. You go in trying to make yourself as big as possible. That would be MD Myers getting the goal on this one. And this is what we're talking about with the flow state. When things just click. That was not a good first touch from Nick Marcanic. But guess what? MD Myers does the defensive work, and he is the beneficiary anyway. An open net. He's never going to miss that one. Guess what? We're still in the first half, okay? Just bear with me. We're still in the first half. Emilio Icaza, the number 10, has been really, really active. His run makes this PK possible, and none other than Nick Marcanic to step up from the spot. He's been so good from the penalty spot this year. He gets his hat trick, and I'd be surprised if we see him in the second half.
10 goals this season for Marcanic. 10. Charleston Battery, they have 4 here today. Halftime stats brought to you by Heineken. For Las Vegas, they got a lot of work to do.
They do, and you know what's so interesting is this possession number, right? This just goes to show that Charleston can be impactful without the ball. I have been really impressed with their defensive structure, but also with their willingness to win the ball in high areas and just be so efficient in the 18-yard boxes. And at the end of the day, that's where Las Vegas is losing this battle.
Yeah, they are getting beaten and bludgeoned up and down the pitch here today, and it looks like there's no help in sight, and that man is back on the pitch. So a little bit of roll in the dice if you're a Charleston Battery fan, but when you're in a position to get fat, why not look for your 4th and 5th goals on the day?
Yeah, and you know, there's a balance to that, right? We've talked about the flow state probably ad nauseum at this point, but I do think it's the perfect comparison to what this Charleston team is experiencing. And sometimes as a head coach, you don't really want to mess with that. The more players are on the field, the more they're seeing game minutes, the better that flow state becomes, the longer it continues. So I definitely see both sides of it from Ben Pierman.
Charleston now moving from right to left, and Las Vegas will be moving from left to right. If you are in the locker room and you're Dennis Sanchez, what do you say?
I think it's at this point, it's about heart and it's about your willingness to respond. You're down and out, right? There's no way around that. But are you going to sulk through these next 45 minutes, or are you going to puff your chest out, hold your shoulders back, and try to get back in this game one at a time? That would have been my message. Is, you know, this is how you tell me as players what your mentality is.
Well, he mentioned to us during the week that his team needs to suffer together. I don't think he meant this much.
No, this is not ideal. No.
This is laboring. Alba can't get to it. Malloy did, though. But better to have this happen early in the year than late, if anything. Barring a major and dramatic comeback, Las Vegas will fall to 3-5. But nevertheless, if you are Las Vegas, you want to take your licks early on because these are learning moments.
Yeah, and these are also moments when, you know, this is not their full squad. This is not their healthiest squad. They are missing some key players today, no doubt about it. You know, you look at Sean Smart, obviously such an electric outside back for them, a player who does a lot of good work 1v1, and a player who also really gets forward into the attack in the wide areas, not available today, right? So there are little moments and things to take from this.
Sante, nobody around for Las Vegas.
So I think if Coach sees his players get 1 or 2 back, he'd be pleased with that response.
Hafferty played it through. Nobody around. Samake with the left foot blocked on the way through by Archer. Well, he quickly closed that door. Shot never got to Grinwis.
And I just love the intensity with which Charleston defends in the box. Once that ball gets into their 18-yard box, there is not a lot that they won't sacrifice to make sure it doesn't even get to their goalkeeper. Leland Archer's dive right there, just a great example of that.
Can't get too far ahead of ourselves, but when you look at what Charleston is doing so far this year, Torres, right side, looking for more, a wide open net, and it's gonna be 5-0. Nick Markanic again, he's got 4.
That is utter joy for Nick Markanic and his boys, and utter disappointment for the way that Las Vegas has started. And the defensive shape is just not good enough. Completely ball watching, forgetting about the goal scorer in Nick Markanic, wide open. Garcia gets caught, he gets drawn, and kudos to Torres for being unselfish in that moment. Could have taken a shot, instead finds his teammate who already has 3 on the day to make it 4. And I think that your bet of Nick Markanic being player of the week has now been solidified.
Might be player of the month.
Ooh.
Probably. Another brilliant goal for the Battery, scored in the 49th minute, presented by Diamonds Direct. Look, there's a lot of guys you can leave open. I don't know if you want to do that to number 13 for Charleston Battery.
No, but that's what I love so much about, we talked about him in the open being such a well-rounded striker. In his previous years, he might have tried to get involved into that play, but he has been so content this year with kind of sticking out of it, letting the players around him help him out, do some of the work. And because of that, he has really positioned himself so many times in a way that back lines just keep forgetting that he's out there. And it's just shocking to me.
It's almost the equivalent of a poker player playing slow with a winning hand, right? You can see the play unfold. You can see where the ball's going to go. So if you don't get out in front of it, the advantage is to your side. And that's probably the element that you saw growing up and then becoming a collegiate athlete and professionals. The game slows down for you, if you will, as opposed to running 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, and you also get used to having quality players around you, right? You don't feel this need to go do everything yourself. And I think that's the light bulb that we're seeing from Nick Markanic this year. And again, yes, he is the goal scorer, right? He's the hero of today, but he can't do what he does unless he's got players like Torres, like Allen, like Ikaza also attracting defensive numbers, so he can stay out wide and find himself in these isolated situations.
So here's another question I got to ask because of the position that Markanic has put the opposition in. He's scored 11 goals so far during the regular season in USL Championship.
That's disgusting.
But the way that he's done it is he's not beating up on a bunch of cream puffs. And so the attention's not only in Charleston, but it becomes a national draw. And what we've seen in USL Championship is these players get international looks as well. Do you think that has any kind of an impact on a player?
I think right now, especially as a striker, you are always thinking about your confidence, right? You're always trying to maintain the confidence that you have, grow into the confidence that you can have in front of goal. And so for him, I don't think that he is thinking about that at all. I think for him, his focus is so heavily on this team and making sure this is a championship side that the rest of those things will happen if they're meant to be, right? It's almost like when you hear coaches talk about, well, we want a good performance. We worry about the performance because if we have a good performance, the results will innately come. The results will yield themselves. I have to think that that's also Nick Markanic's attitude towards perhaps his individual success.
Markanic, again, is he onside? It looks to be the case. The chip in the box. Ikazu goes down trying to draw his second penalty. That time, no dice. Is a little hot about it.
And I think the penalty call is going to have to be pretty egregious with this scoreline for the referee to put them in a position to go down 6-0. I think Garcia had made his stance known at that point. Got to give Icaza some credit, though.
Looks like Torres will take this corner. I bring up the international component because you look at Milan Olaski last year with Orange County, Haji Berry a couple years ago with Colorado Springs. Those are guys that were dynamite at this level and torched everybody that they played against. And for Marcanic, 11 goals and counting. We haven't even reached the month of May. Rather absurd! That one hits woodwork, the rebound. That one goes wide. It was blocked.
The boys on the back line trying to get in on the action. That was first Nate DeSantos. Oh, excuse me, Graham Smith, the center back. He's always the target on these set pieces. Normally, though, it's with his head. He barely misses that volley. Tries to get his other center back in on the action. But the defenders will have to stay off the score sheet for now.
At least for now. Smith has been fantastic defensively. That one goes right off the crossbar. Going to mention Graham Smith, 51 clearances so far to lead the club, but almost got into the act offensively.
Graham Smith has been such a good addition. I love the triangle. Leland Archer, the other center back, Graham Smith, and then Aaron Malloy sitting as a screen in front of those guys. That is, if you're an attacker and you look back and you see that triangle up the spine, that is comforting, to say the least.
Changes for Dennis Sanchez, and they can't happen fast enough. I guess that poses the question, Marion, and I will ask you since Dennis is not around.
I can call it. Do you want to get him on the phone?
You got that kind of hookup.
He might take it.
I don't know.
Given the scoreline.
Why not make those changes earlier to start the second half? Or why not make it when you're down 3-0 in the first half?
I'll be interested to see how these changes look onto the pitch. But if I had to guess, I don't think these are changes to go and win this game.
Right.
I think these are changes to maybe get some players minutes out of a lost cause, maybe get some players on the bench.
Torres, back post, Marcanic, a little too tall for him.
Quality minutes in against a really good side.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you don't make them so early, is because at 3-0, you're maybe thinking we have a chance.
Myers got bumped off his placement by Garcia. Try to retaliate, no dice.
At 5-0, though, it's hard to have that mindset.
Yeah, they're not leaking right now. They're just getting gutted. And for Charleston, they have 5. They'd love to add 5 more. They've had 3 shots go off of 3 bars. You said it off air, Marion. This thing could get to 7-0.
And Nick Marcanic could have the other 2.
Yeah, that's true. 4 goals today, 3 in the first half, the 4th here in the second half.
And you hear Ben Pierman saying, gotta move the ball, gotta move the ball. You wonder, what is Charleston doing at this point? Well, they're getting reps. They're trying to build on their principles.
Torres wants to get it back. That heel kick from Myers, just not enough sauce on it. Dos Santos. I know this match, Marion and I will have full-time stats and highlights. We'll also have the Heineken Man of the Match. You can take a random guess who that's going to be. Allen, Dos Santos. Broken up, looking for Torres again. Everything just looks comfortable for Charleston. There's been moments where Las Vegas has tried to force the attack, but they can't. They just don't have the horses to compete. mentioned Sean Smart. He's coming onto the pitch right now. And so it's one of those situations for Dennis Sanchez where plenty of guys will be getting work now, but they're doing so in a major deficit. Nigro coming in. Gennaro making his appearance. Zhao also coming onto the pitch. Allen looking for a window, and this ball is airmailed. It's a different kind of bar, the light post. Sean Smart. It was signed by Las Vegas. So 4 players taken off, 4 added in. Nice block. Torres got his foot out on it.
Come on, Joe!
Sean Smart with his first touch. Samake, who's out. Bennett is in. Samake had some pretty decent moments in the first half, working with Ricky Alba. A couple connections and a few headers that just weren't placed accurately, but had plenty of velocity.
And you can hear what the purpose of these substitutes is supposed to be for Coach Sanchez. He is asking, you hear him specifically asking for Joe to, you're fresh. You got fresh legs. We need to be pressing to at least not be shut out in this game. So if you're a substitute coming on, you've got to know it really is your job at this point to chase the game, make life difficult for the opposition, to build out, try to win the ball higher up the pitch so you can put yourself in a better goal-scoring position.
Diego Gutierrez is going to come into the contest, Jake LaCava as well, and that man will get a round of applause, but he should take a bow. Nick Markanek, his day is over with. He departs in the 61st minute. Man leaves for the day, pocketing 4 goals. He's got 11 now in the season. It's amazing. He almost doubled his season total today. That is remarkable. Seen some fascinating things in USL Championship, but the pace that he is on right now is quite remarkable. And it's like one of these players that has been the beneficiary of scoring the bulk of his goals, or even half of them from the spot via penalty. He's scored 11 goals so far this year. He's 2 for 2 on penalties. Scoring inside the 18 and out. Rosarena out because Myers was there. 62nd minute. Got a brief moment. The Battery have a brand new look on and off the field this year, thanks to Hummel, club's official jersey provider. Check out the full line of new Battery gear, including the custom 2024 kits, by visiting shop.charlestonbattery.com today. Were you able to snag any of your kits from back in Georgia?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Were they?
They're going to be vintage. Just give them like 20 years.
Now the question is, will you put them in a frame?
So I actually, well, when we had senior night, they, framed our home kits for us. That's the only one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean you'll take it out of the frame to autograph it?
Who wants my autograph? You let me know when I will get in that situation, and then I'll answer that question. Okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, it's a great collection for the family, and of course, obviously, one of the prized moments of your playing career.
Yeah.
Slipped through the box, intercepted by Dos Santos, and Grin was there. Played it back, but smart on the intercept. Sean trying to manipulate the defense. That'll result in a corner. Dos Santos thought he was the last to touch it. And objection is overruled. Now the question is, who has the kit? Yourself, or does the parents?
No, me.
Okay.
Me.
All right. Fair enough.
It's mine.
It is.
My mom has enough stuff.
Does she?
Like, it's like you get things from the age of like 18 and under.
All right.
Everything else is mine.
It's yours. All right.
Point.
Fair enough. You went through the battles.
Yeah.
She did not. Saucered in. Grinwis walking his line. Did not vacate. Charleston. Myers blowing a tire, but got up to recollect. Shots now 10-7 in favor of Charleston, 7 on target. They've hit 3 posts. Expected goals, I think that's the eye-popping stat, because when you look at the goal total, it's 5, but expected goals is 2.29. And that kind of goes back to your point about the indictment of a Rosarena. Cheeky again. Myers trying to slip one defender, can't. That was smart.
And also just how efficient they are and their defensive pressure. They're turning chances that really wouldn't go into the expected goals equation into goals because they're willing to do the defensive work.
Mm-hmm.
I think that can't be understated. If you look at the pattern that this Charleston team scores on game in, game out, it is winning the ball higher up the field, pinning their opponents deep into their defensive half, and then being efficient in the final third and making it count.
The resume continues to build for Charleston. I think the one element, too, is they put pressure on back lines either directly or from out wide. They're not a one-trick pony.
Right. Right.
And this goes back to your point you were talking off air. If they don't win it all this year, it's a big disappointment.
And you hate saying that, right? Like, you hate kind of putting that kind of a standard or that kind of a pressure almost.
But why? If you're Sacramento, if you're San Antonio.
That's a fair point.
If you're Phoenix.
I think because.
If you're Lou City.
Yeah, true. I think as a head coach, and this really goes to, whatever the manager's style is.
Yeah.
There are some managers who really don't like their players to think about things like trophies, things like, the postseason. They really want them to have this one game at a time mentality.
Yeah.
I think what's happened with Charleston is they have set that expectation from the get-go. Obviously, a heartbreaking loss in the final last year. They're coming into preseason with a chip on their shoulder. They go out and get all of these new and improved roster additions, highlighted, of course, by Aaron Malloy. And you have to think that those guys came to Charleston knowing the purpose was to win a title.
Yeah.
So I almost think that Ben Pierman doesn't even have to talk about it. It was a standard that was set in preseason, and now they know that they have to do the weekly things right, the daily things right, daily being training, weekly being winning matches like these, and that will accumulate to their end goal.
Yeah, and I think the other important element, though, is if you have those sorts of expectations, it does so much to feed into the mind of the young players that are going through the ranks of Charleston Battery, and also the players that they brought in.
Yeah.
And if you have that kind of foundation and mentality, I think that goes a long way. It's infectious.
I think so too, and that was one thing that Ben Pierman said. I was asking him just about his thought of the roster reconstruction. Obviously, he goes and picks up some incredible starters. We're seeing Nate, we're seeing Aaron, but he also has a lot of capable players on the bench, and like a Jake LaCava. You go and get those players, and my first question is, what was on your mind when you were thinking about the reconstructing the roster for 2024? And I love that his answer was just high energy, high character. That's what we are about. If they don't have that, they're not going to make it. And if they maybe don't have a few things on the pitch, we'll teach them that, and we'll take the high energy, high character part of them over what they can do on the field.
Yeah, they lost Trey Muse.
Yeah.
Signed with Portland in the MLS. Augie Williams went to Indy.
Incredible.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
awesome.
Like,
Pretty darn good. Augie Williams. They added Graham Smith, added Aaron Malloy, LaCava, Jackson Conaway, MD Myers. Good spirit. And excellent players. Myers scoring today his 6th goal of the season. Substitutions continue as well. Crawford going to come in. Robbie coming in, and see who vacates. Ikaza will depart. Charleston Battery, a league high 23 goals and counting. 23 goals in 8+ matches. I mean, if you're flirting with scoring 3 goals a match, that's doing something.
Yeah.
That's special. Ascona can't elude a defender. And this will be a throw-in for Las Vegas. Smart. And then we'll go back to Charleston Battery. Select the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. We're live here at Patriots Point. Marion Crowder, I'm David Gascon. These teams all-time, 1 victory apiece. Familiarity is not there just because Charleston is in the Eastern Conference, Las Vegas is out west. Charleston last year finishing 17-9-8 during the regular year and came up a buck short in the USL Championship title match against Phoenix Rising, losing in penalties. But for Las Vegas, they're getting throttled today, but they've already matched their season high in wins from a year ago. Last year, they were 3-21-10, and they gutted their entire franchise. Jose Bautista, new ownership group, Dennis Sanchez, brand new head coach, and then they bring in a facelift of sorts with all the new personnel that they brought in. And so while you look up and you see the score, you can't help but think with the wins that they already have that they have more brighter days ahead.
they definitely do. And look, I mean, at the end of the day, they knew that this was going to be a tough task. Coming into Patriots Point is one thing. Coming into Patriots Point with the way that Charleston is playing right now is a whole new level. And so that's why I say that I think if Las Vegas could just figure out a way to respond and see a couple of bright moments, you can be happy with that. You can find some glimmer out of that. You go back to what Coach said about, you know, winning together, suffering together.
Yeah.
You want to see that come out the other side, though, right? You don't just want to sit in it together. You want to see who's going to respond and who's going to be positive and do something like this. This is a great moment of those guys saying, hey, I know I'm fresh. I know this is my purpose. And it almost ends in a really dangerous area. So it's little moments like that where I think you start to look at the success of this game, obviously, as opposed to the scoreline.
For Las Vegas, their next contest will be on May the 4th against New Mexico. That'll be at home. And for Charleston Battery, they have a date with Hartford on tap. Speaking of which, I don't know if you're a huge radio fan, but I am.
I like radio.
Can't watch the matches? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and much, much more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. The question is, do you listen more to the radio or Apple iTunes or Pandora when you're working out?
Ooh, Spotify. I'm a
Spotify?
Spotify girly.
All right.
I don't feel like you liked that answer.
No, I go to
You were
Spotify.
shocked.
I go to Spotify for podcasts.
Okay. I'm not much of a big podcast person.
No.
Like, I talk enough for myself.
It's fine. It's fine.
I mean,
It's all good. I feel like everyone has a podcast anyway, so to your point.
do you want to start one?
We could.
We could just set up a mic right here and call this the first episode.
What do we call it? Mullets and wine?
No, that
The
is
flow.
No, the
flow.
flow. That's it.
The flow.
That's it. First guess has to be Coleman Gannon, though.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah. Yeah. Coleman, what inspired you in that mullet?
Yeah.
I'll take your answer right now.
Flow, yeah, it can mean a lot of different things. We can talk about Charleston's flow,
Yeah.
them as a team, or we could talk about the flow of his hair.
That's true. Yeah. We could be all about it. Podcast only on Spotify. We have to find a sponsor though.
I hear Athletic Greens is the sponsor for all the podcasts.
We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. And then we need to have like a focal point. We need to have someone be the ambassador of the Flow podcast. Could it be Flo? The Flo from the Progressive Insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Flo,
yeah.
there you go. She's
I
in
mean,
everything.
You know, we're having some high ambitions right now. I'm gonna knock us down a level.
Fine. Smith, who's down now. Take a peek at this again in the 74th minute.
And it's just a bad head-to-head collision. No malintent there at all. But never a sight you want to see. Good to see Graham Smith up on his own, though. It's a scary moment for Charleston. He has been such a good addition to them from Memphis.
Smith nearly scoring here in this second half. Oh, look at the young tykes hanging out at the park.
It's a great day, and you're teaching them early.
Yes.
Hey, son, this is what winning looks like.
That's right.
Pay attention.
Only thing I was missing there was the Capri Sun or like the orange peels, right?
I love a Capri Sun.
Yeah.
If you put a Capri Sun in front of me right now, I would have no problem.
But were you Capri Sun or High C?
Capri Sun.
Okay.
I feel like High C wasn't really like a thing in the South.
No?
That's who's going to sponsor our podcast.
Capri Sun.
Capri Sun.
Oh my gosh. Well, we've had it all here today. The flow, the mullets, 4 goals from Nick Marcanic.
I really think the only thing that would make this complete is Charleston scoring on a corner kick, on a set piece.
By a defender?
That would be even better.
Yeah.
Graham Smith is typically the target on these corner kicks, number 16.
Graham, near the 6-net header, you almost called it on the mark. Graham elevating, but just a little bit high.
And he's just a lot to deal with. He's obviously got the stature to him, but his ability to time runs as we see him down now. Have to think it's a little bit from the earlier play, that hard challenge.
Well, we got a moment. USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN, all platforms, all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. I feel like I can get an analysis from you on everything, especially down the south. Full disclosure, you were able to correct me on the proper pronunciation for Biloxi.
Yeah.
Marcanic coming off the surface, and he'll be substituted out.
You hate to see that, but obviously the right move. Have to think it's a potential head injury just from the tough challenge he had in his own 18-yard box and then taking a knee after heading the ball right after that challenge. obviously the player you do not want to miss in the next match. So hope all will be well with Graham Smith.
Sebastian Palma coming in, man from Colombia. Second season with Charleston Battery. Things have certainly slowed down a bit. They were electric in the opening half for Charleston, but staked to a 4-goal cushion. This final 45, they've had 1 goal so far. Not really vying for another. They've had some moments that Vegas has provided them. I guess it's been the tail of the tape throughout the day. Again, with a 5-0 lead, you'd figure their expected goals is right around 5. It's not even close to that, 2.71. And I got to imagine for Dennis Sanchez, that long ride back to Las Vegas, he's going to see a lot of things on film and probably be a bit disgusted.
Yeah. I think it's going to be hard not to have a conversation with the Rosarena after this match, especially given some of his recent matches. I think that there have been several times in recent games that his positioning has made things a bit murky, caused a little bit of stress and chaos when there didn't need to be any. I think he's going to look at the structure of his back line, the amount of times that they got caught flat, caught ball watching on the opposite side. How many times do we see Nick Markanek, the man who we all know is unstoppable? You'd think they'd have someone on him all the time. Just lost him on the backside. I do think we saw a few moments in the attack where the idea was there, right? They weren't trying to force things centrally. They were getting it to their playmakers out wide, trying to find that early service in behind the back line to Alba, who did well for himself. Just it was the timing, the delivery, just missing that last part in the final third. But you have to just give credit to Charleston. They came in here knowing that they were probably going to get Las Vegas's best game. I think it's been far from that for Las Vegas, but they wanted to take the sting out of this one and take it out immediately. And at home, they came out with the intensity to get the first goal, and then they didn't stop, and they were willing to do the work defensively. They were willing to play quick in moments of transition, and I think that they have just been brilliant with their decisions of when to build out versus when to go quick in the counter.
If they are not the best team in USL Championship, I don't know who is. They have been absolutely dominant here today, and they've been fantastic this season. After today's victory, they'll go to 6-0-3. Gutierrez on the opposite side of the pitch asking for delivery. That ball never came his way. And I think more to your point, as you mentioned it, Marion, when you force a team to watch the ball, that speaks to not only what you're doing with your movement as a player, but also the kind of connectivity that you have with your teammates. Crawford to Santos. 81st minute. Nick Markanek with 4 goals in the day. MD Myers with 1. Malloy. Oh, ambitious! And he found the sweet spot! You gotta be kidding me! That might be the goal of the week from Aaron Malloy from out of nowhere!
That was stunning. That was excellent. And that is pure joy from the boys in black and yellow. And that whole entire build-up, what I was thinking is no one ever takes too many touches. They let the ball do the work, and it's such an inviting pass to Aaron Malloy. And with no pressure on him, the best distributor of the ball, a guy who can shoot from just about anywhere, gets his name on the score sheet.
Absolutely brilliant from Malloy in the 82nd minute. Battery goal, the sparkling finish from the right foot of Aaron Malloy, brought to you by Diamonds Direct. This thing has turned into a laugher. Charleston Battery beaten Las Vegas from pillar to post. And showing up on the scoreboard and on the stat sheet. So Myers and Malloy, Marcanic with 4. That is plenty of offense today for Charleston Battery. They came into this contest with 18 goals. Now to 24. Players colliding, and this is an important moment too for the lead official and Joe Sergen. You don't want any kind of extracurriculars going on in a one-sided tilt.
No, and you definitely, if you're Charleston, you're thinking that this could be the complete match. We mentioned how good their performance was against Tulsa, but they did allow a goal in that game. This would be a complete 90-minute performance. So you want to close this one out as clean as possible.
Matthew Dean coming into the affair. Aaron Malloy. I would be hard-pressed to find a goal that was better than Malloy's. You look at the 5 other ones that were scored, you think about it, Rosarena gave away a couple of those. I don't know.
Oh, I agree fully.
Yeah.
There has, I mean, yes, it's been like, it has been an offensive showing for Charleston. They've scored in a multitude of ways. They have capitalized, right, on the mistakes of their opponents. But that was stunning.
Yeah.
That was a stunning finish, a classy finish. So I am right there with you. Pretty cool today.
Are you a gamer?
No.
No?
Do I look like a gamer?
I only ask because eFootball 2024 is here.
Are you a gamer? Are you going to play?
I could. So here's how you do it. Okay. You live your dream, rep your team, play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play, so download it.
I mean,
you got Android, iPhone, what do you got?
iPhone.
Okay.
But I did like that because it rhymed at the beginning. So I'm on board.
It did. You know what? We have good flow.
just keep coming back to the podcast.
We have good flow. Find us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, wherever you're.
Brought to you by Capri Sun.
That's right. Capri Sun. Oh my God. Our post-podcast meal is Capri Sun and orange peel. Oh boy. Oh boy. That kind of a day at the office.
Oof.
In a match like this, you certainly don't want any kind of injuries to happen during it, especially late. And then, of course, any kind of ill will and physicality. Big thanks to our entire award-winning crew helping us today. Jonathan Solano, Ricky Rivera helping us behind the scenes. Gentlemen, pleasure as always. I said award-winning and I mean it.
I know.
There you go.
They can join our podcast.
They can join our podcast.
And it can be award-winning.
They might bring something more than Capri Sun. It might be a little bit heavier than Capri Sun. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. High C Orange. I'm down for that. Smart trying to keep it in. Anything would be positive for Las Vegas to get on the board, break up this clean sheet. '87th minute. Gutierrez trying to feed it to LaCava.
That's the right idea. That was quite a piece of work from Gutierrez to win that ball back defensively. Nifty little touch around the white jersey and almost finds a cheeky entry pass to Jake LaCava.
Reach full time, we'll have stats and highlights. You can guess what they'll include. A lot of Nick Marcanic. Again, next contest for Charleston Battery, May 4th against Hartford. It'll It'll be right here at Patriots Point. For Las Vegas, they'll lick their wounds and they'll go back home to Sin City, and they'll do battle with New Mexico. Players still competing, chirping a bit at the lead official, Joe Sergin. I feel like for a maiden voyage for a podcast of sorts with the flow, you'd have to bring in a cuisine from Mississippi. You'd have to bring in something from your hometown.
What? I'm curious. For a guy who doesn't know much about the South, what do you think Mississippi is known for?
Football.
Okay, food-wise.
Food-wise, anything fried. Anything fried.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken,
no,
fried octopus.
What?
Yeah, anything fried.
Not
yes.
fried octopus. No, thank you.
Fried scallops,
I
calamari.
mean, that's fine. I was thinking more of like fried chicken and like collard greens.
Oh, I'm good.
That's okay.
Brussels
And,
sprouts fried.
Nope, that's a little too healthy.
Oh, sorry.
A little too healthy for
No
us.
greens, huh?
Cornbread.
Oh,
for sure.
I'm in. Loaded with butter.
And then, yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can't make anything
Grits?
without butter. Yeah, we can do some grits.
All right.
Mississippi people make good grits. Good biscuits.
Oh, see?
Absolutely.
I'm
convincing you to come give it a visit, right?
Fair enough. Mississippi is a place that probably have breakfast for dinner.
Ooh, I grew up on breakfast for dinner.
See?
Absolutely.
Speaking
See,
language.
you fit in. Just as long as you say the state correctly.
Oh, yes, Mississippi. That's how you say it.
That's not how you say it. For anyone watching this that happens to be familiar with the state, the Magnolia State, all locals pronounce it Mississippi.
Mississippi.
You just leave off one of the ISS. Yeah,
right.
there you go.
And it's not Biloxi.
No, God, no. All these people back in Charleston are like, can these two give it a rest?
Yeah.
Apologies, all.
Get them out of here. Pack up the truck.
This is what happens when your team is this good.
Yes. We're looking at everything else. Fans have certainly scattered from Patriots Point, but they're up and at it early. Rosarena vacating again, about 30, 40 yards out. We are going to have some added time. 4 minutes of added time. Extra time brought to you by Musk Health, sports medicine, courtesy of South Carolina. Adam Grinwis just moments away from another clean sheet. It has been a clinic for Charleston Battery. I don't know if I've covered so many things within a 90-minute match. I'll be honest, Marion. You're the agitator in all this. Blaming you.
It's always me.
Yeah.
Look, if you are wondering where the problem is, I can 90% point to me.
You are the genesis of all this.
No, it's been fun, and this is actually my first chance at getting to call a Charleston match this year. I've been watching them from afar, and just to see it, up close when you're focused on one team for 90 minutes, they are truly this good.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's the question. Have we played enough people? Have we given it enough time? This team has all of the makings you need to win a title, and that's why I think that it is fair to say, whatever pressure it might put on the players, that this is a situation of title or bust, championship or bust. I think anything less than getting to the final would be a disappointment for how good the squad is.
So what is their weakness?
I do think that they can...
Susceptible to one turnover. That one's going to be redirected. Doesn't go through Ascona there.
I do think they can get caught on corner kicks and set pieces and not tracking the runs as properly perhaps as they should. I think that we saw early in the game Las Vegas trying to hone in on a weakness, not attacking them through the middle part of the field, but trying to draw numbers out of their shape. trying to draw the Nate DeSantises of the world out wide so that they can give a higher, taller number 9 a little bit more of a chance to go against Leland Archer and Graham Smith. I don't know if that's necessarily a weakness, but it is something that we've seen teams try to do, is make that back shoulder run on the center backs of Charleston and see if they can't time a ball early enough to where the goalkeeper can't come out and the run is in behind and it's an easy little tap in.
You know, if you're curious about the tests that are coming up, I mean, they'll be sitting at 6-0-3, and with the teams that are on tap, you have Hartford next week, and then you're going to have Birmingham Legion in a couple weeks from there. That's looking for the 7th goal of the day. That shot of the Rosarena coming all the way out, just missing on the short side with LaCava.
And in most situations, you'd say, hey, if you don't get scored on, you don't lose games.
Yeah.
In Charleston's situation, I think most of the time they can come back from a 2-goal deficit. I think they are a team that doesn't have to have clean sheets all the time to win games. And granted, I mean, they want it, but we are seeing just how many weapons they have in the attack. Jake LaCava, another one of those pickups for the 2024 season, was a 2022 USL finalist for USL Championship Young Player of the Year. And he's coming off the bench for them.
Yeah.
Acquired by Inter Miami in 2023.
The rematch between Charleston and Phoenix Rising will take place in the tail end of June 22nd to be exact. That'll be in the desert. So that'll be one that we can earmark. Joe Surgan looking ahead at his watch. Needs to blow this whistle and get this match over and done with, because this match needed to be over 4 minutes ago, and it finally is. Charleston Battery win this thing in a laugher, 6-0. Ben Pierman and company, an absolute clinic today at the office. 4 goals scored today by our man of the match. As you think about no one other than Nick Markanek, and he has done it all, our Heineken man of the match.
Yeah, what a day that Nick Markanek has had, and it starts with this goal through the run of play that was ended by a class finish. And then the defensive work of MD Myers ends up making Nick Markanek the beneficiary of his 2nd goal. Emilio Icaza and his ability to take risk in the final third, that sends Markanek to the spot for the 3rd. And then 4 would be early in the 2nd half.
Lighting everybody up. He's got 11 goals so far this season and counting. And as you mentioned, no one can stop him so far. We'll come up with another set with some post-game stats, some highlights, and a whole lot more. But Charleston Battery win this thing walking away 6-0.
This is your vacation, your beach, your fields of green, skies of blue, mountains of majesty. You're an athlete, you're obsessed, you're in love, you're in pain, spirit drained, in agony, fighting gravity, because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your frame in blazing heat, exhausted and beat, because when you refuse to yield, your spirit is revealed. You are an athlete. MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
Hola.
¿Alguna otra cerveza?
No, Michelob Ultra.
Ok, ahora vuelvo.
Closing up shop here from Patriots Point. Fans go home, smiles on their face. 6-0 is the final score. We got some full-time highlights. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra. This is the Nick Markanek show, but he did have some help along the way. This thing got
Then a few touches to get them in behind, but it's this moment where everything started to fall apart for Las Vegas. We see some sloppiness in the back, poor positioning from the goalkeeper, and Markanek MD Myers actually gets on the board along with Nick Markanek. This will be Markanek's second goal, a wide open net, and a really humbling day for the Las Vegas goalkeeper in a Rosarena. He's going to go back watching this film, hoping to forget about it. But we are still in the first half. Scoring is not done. Emilio Icaza making a cheeky little run in behind the back line, gets caught in the foot of the center back and sends Nick Markanek to the spot to get his hat trick.
Unbelievable. We turn things over to half number 2 and number 13 with number 4.
Absolutely. Hey, that's a lot of numbers and way too much too for my mind. But all I know is Nick Markanek is that man. And guess what? This Charleston team is that good. Highlighted by their 2024 acquisition in Aaron Malloy. He is not disappointed, only continues to impress, even with his ability to somersault.
Final score brought to you by Wicked Weed. 6-0, an absolute drubbing at the hands of the Charleston Battery, and they win this thing going away. Shots 15, 8 shots on target. It's more of an indictment on what happened with Las Vegas. You get behind the 8 ball early on against a team like this, you are not getting out of the boat without it being sunk. With all that being said, Nick Markanek, certainly the Heineken man of the match. 11 goals and counting for Charleston Battery. The sky is the limits for them. They looked impressive on the day. So they improved their record to 6-0-3, good for 21 points. For Las Vegas Lights, they have now lost 3 in a row, and their record falls to 3-5. Next contest for Charleston Battery is next week, May 4th, against Hartford. And for Las Vegas, they will go at home against New Mexico on May the 4th as well. Hope you enjoyed this one with my broadcast partner, Marion Crowder. I'm David Gascon. Hope you enjoyed this one. Nick Markanek with 4 goals on the day. Charleston wins it 6-0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.